What are the dangers of not boiling the water right now?
Sure. If you don't boil water, then under a boil water advisory, it is possible that you can suffer serious illness, including nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea.
Caused by what?
There's bacteria that will proliferate, that will reproduce in water that is not boiled to a temperature that sufficiently kills them.
Do you know what's that called? Is there a name for it?
Yeah, well, they're called coliforms, the bacteria, and it encompasses a whole range of bacteria that can cause this kind of sickness. But the important thing is boiling water is not just getting it to a level where it boils and then you take it off the stove, but it really has to boil for a full minute. That will be enough time at a sufficient temperature to kill those bacteria, and then you can use that water.
And that's just because the water pressure slows enough to where bacteria can develop? And what's the cause? Like, how does that
So some of it, that's a good question. Some of it is based on pressure, but it also is based on where we get our water from. We don't get a lot of water from the ocean and rivers and streams now. It's really ground level water under the water basin. And those things go through a whole host of purification with bleach added, chlorine is added at safe levels, of course, in order to purify the water. When the water is left standing, then it can absolutely lead to that kind of reproduction of these kind of organisms that will cause harm.
And so what should people look for for symptoms? Let's say you forgot, you drank water, you brushed your teeth. What kind of symptoms should you look for to where you think maybe I should go to the hospital or get treated for this?
Sure. So the first thing that you should do is remember to wash your hands, or any water that you ingest needs to be preferably bottled water. If not, then you can resort to the boiling. You're not going to drink boiling hot water, so let that cool, of course. The symptoms that you would notice would be symptoms like stomach upset, nausea, vomiting, maybe your stool going to the bathroom is a little bit more liquid, like diarrhea. If those are pretty good indicators that you did not take the proper precautions. The most important thing at that point in time is to hydrate. So if you didn't use the bottled water in the beginning, you really need to use the bottled water at this point to rehydrate yourself with something that is potable. If that is for a prolonged period of time, if a few hours pass and you continue to go to the water, the vomiting doesn't stop, it's probably a good idea to seek medical attention.
And who's most at risk to get really sick? I mean, for most of us, we get that kind of sickness, you hydrate, maybe you take some Pepto-Bismol, you're probably going to be okay, or do you need medical attention?
Sure. No, as long as you can stay up with the hydration, then you're okay. But mainly the people that would be, the patient population that would be most at risk would be the young, the old, patients that have their immune system is not working to the best of its ability, some cancer patients. Those are the patients that are really going to be affected to a greater degree than, say, you or I, who could rehydrate very well.
So for those patients, this is potentially serious then?
It can be serious for any patients, those patients in particular. But yeah, if you don't follow the proper hand hygiene with washing your hands with bottled water or this boiled water that is allowed to cool, using an alcohol-based sanitizer, using disposable plates, cups, utensils, those kinds of, because you don't want to be washing this in a dishwasher or your sink with non-potable water. Any of those kinds of things can lead to this being potentially serious.
And treatment is just antibiotics or what?
So the treatment is hydration first, and then depending on the type of bacteria, there are antibiotics that we could give in order to address those kinds of infections.
Okay. Anything I didn't cover?
I don't know if this is a stupid question, but what if you have like a filter system on your water coming out of the sink in the kitchen, or let's say like to make ice for the refrigerator?
Yeah, so ice that's already made in the refrigerator, let's say by an ice machine inside the refrigerator, that ice comes from the same water that is polluted, so that's ice that you should discard. If you have ice in the old trays, you should discard that. So if you're going to get ice, better to get a bag of ice from the store and use that. The water filtration system, many of those water filtration systems may be fine, but I still would not take the chance that system, there's many different filtration systems out there. Some are in the house, some come from the ground, some you put on the water faucet. It's still best to just use bottled water while the boiled water advisory is in effect. Same precautions that we would use during a hurricane.
Hi, I'm Shelly. Thank you for checking out our NBC6 South Florida YouTube channel. You want more videos like the kind you just watched? Click right here on the subscribe button below. Get the latest stories, interviews, caught on camera, and more. Digital exclusives as well, all for you. Subscribe now.